So from this video we'll actually get started with designing the user interface in Flutter. So whenever you are going to design a user interface in Flutter, you need to decide on what type of widget you will be using, whether you will be using a stateless widget or you will be using a stateful widget, because the decision affects how you are going to architect the component. Okay, so if you are only using viewable parts, or you can say those parts that are not going to change dynamically, any sort of text, buttons, or any kind of thing, so which is going to remain static, so those things you can fit in the stateless widget, and other things which are the components which are active components, you have to put it into the stateful widgets. And here another thing that you need to remember is you are capable of building different types of components here. So you did not stick to a single set of component, you can create your own components here, so there is no restrictions as to what you should do, what you shouldn't do here. So there are important guidelines here that are given here. So first thing that you need to do is you need to start your method with a scaffold. Okay, so inside the scaffold there are two parts. Okay, one is the AppBar and another one is the AppBar, and another part is the body. Okay, so for now we will pass a container to the body. Okay, so there are different types of options that you could use. So these are fixed options, you can say. So inside the app bar there are different types of properties that we'll be able to set. So here, so just let me show you this thing. So here this is a blank page that we currently have. So here I will just change it to title, and just change it this text. Okay, so this is like test text. Okay, so I'll just save these things here. You can see, oh sorry, you can see here test text, and here inside this container what I would do is I will put a text, sorry, child and text. So child property, a container has a child property, and I will display here test sorry, test container I will write here, because beyond that I've written already test text, so I'm using that thing. See here, so this thing in the previous example that we had seen in the previous video, it had centrally aligned this thing, so this can be easily done here. So whenever you are, you can say, nesting components, so this comes handy. This, click on this yellow bulb thing, and wrap with center, wrap with column, wrap with container. These are readily available options. You can either select that, or if you are having any custom component to add here, you can click on that. So now I just want to center this thing, so I will just click on wrap with center. Okay, so see here, it will wrap with center, and yeah, this is centrally aligned now. But if you can see, you cannot actually see this text, it's very small. Okay, so what we could do is, like, we could change some properties here. Okay, so here this thing allows us styling of components. Okay, so for this text, you can say widget, we will have a style thing and text style, and here for the style part we could add different types of things here. So like font size, we could scale this thing a bit, like 30. Okay, just see how big it looks. Yeah, fair enough. Then there's a font weight. Okay, so bold, yeah, what is it, bold, yeah, bold. And after that we could do some colors and stuff. Okay, color like red color, yeah, well, pretty bold, yeah, good. So this is the thing, and now this was simply a text field, you can say text, it is not interacting or anything likewise. Okay, so we will need different types of components here. So what we could do is, like, I'll just wrap this, or you just change this thing into container again, or I would rather add a column here. Okay, so here columns and rows, so this is quite easy to understand, that like columns are in a vertical way and rows are horizontal divisions. Okay, so we'll get to it just transform this into a column. Okay, so here I will add this children thing here. Okay, shouldn't have messed with this thing. Yeah, okay, and this should do. Yeah, so this will put it in such a way that we could add multiple components here. So here this was just a text field. After that we will see a simple button. Okay, so here buttons are of different types. One is a text button. So this kind of button doesn't have actually anything apart from a text, you can say. So very less styling options available here for this kind of buttons. So text, simple text button. So here this is the on press method of it. Sorry, let's make it blank here. Okay, so we could add something if we want here. See here, this is a simple button. See here, it's a button. This is not a button, this is a text. So apart from that, this is a text button. Another option we have here is a elevated button. Elevated button, and again let's put it this way. And for this elevated button, we will have a different look. Let me show you. Text, okay, sorry. Elevated button. Okay, so this will have a bluish look. Yeah, so this is it, and we could do styling for this as well. Okay, so for any sort of components you can go into it and apply two different properties. One is the style property and another one is a decoration property. So some elements don't have the decoration property, but majority of them do have a style and decoration property. So here, if you are having a text field, then you have to text style. If you are having a button, you have to use button style. But here I am inside the text tag, so what I will do is I will style this text. Okay, just put it this way. Okay, so I will just raise the font weight. I will make it bold, and I will just raise the size. I'll make it 20, just like before, slightly smaller. Yeah, looks bigger. But now what I want to do is I want to change the background of this thing. So usually these properties are accessible here. Okay, you have to track where this component end and stuff. Okay, so that is why you have comments in this thing, so that you don't get jumbled between this closing braces, or you can say circular brackets. So here we have something like a, you can say, style thing, style, button style. Okay, so in button style you have different types of properties like background color, foreground color. So here's the catch to that thing. Okay, let me show you. Background color, if I'm taking color, and simply here if I'm taking, just like I've done before, if I'm taking orange color, this will show me an error. Let me show you what that error is. Okay, sorry, man. Okay, let's just come here. Material color cannot be assigned type material state property color. So what we have to do here is material state property dot all, and here you have to use the color thing, and this. So see here, this has changed the color of the button. So this is a catch here, that all this thing, this buttons and stuff, are actually a part of the material template, or you can say material design thing. So those properties do not change directly. You need to override it using material state property, because it follows the standard template of material design. So if you need to override those things, you need to use material state property. Okay, so there are other properties as well. So this was just a basic introductory part here. Like I've taken a few buttons and stuff, and we'll go, or we can say we'll delve deep into this thing in upcoming videos. For now, we'll just focus on this thing and whatever we have taken. So for this thing we have taken column here. So here for column or rows, you have two major properties that decide how the component should be placed here. So one is the main axis alignment, and another one is the cross axis alignment. Okay, so these things sometimes work in a very tricky way. Okay, so you need to be careful how these things work. Okay, so main axis alignment. Okay, so in main axis alignment, that is the main axis. So if you are taking a column, your main axis will be the vertical axis. This is the vertical axis, that will be your main axis. If you are taking a row, horizontal axis will be your main axis and vertical axis will be your cross axis. Okay, so sometimes you might get jumbled into this thing, but remember, for the column we will have main axis which is vertical, and for rows we will have the horizontal axis as main axis. Okay, so that's it, and let me set this thing. Main axis alignment center. Okay, sorry, cross axis alignment center. Sorry, this is cross axis alignment dot center. Okay, so this will centrally align these things. Okay, see, this has taken the column axis properly. For this thing, the row part it has not taken, because it has taken only this space. So if I add a space to this container here, okay, so for this container, if I add a width like double.infinity, so that should do the work, I guess. Yeah, see here, so I've added a width to this thing and this has worked out. Okay, so that's it. So we'll see in the upcoming lectures how we can style these components more and we can add some functionality to it. Okay, thank you.